Close your eyes now and let the quiet energy of the cosmos flow through you. We will drift gently across the boundless stars of Dragon Ball, exploring the hidden histories and the powerful souls that shape each world. There is no rush here, only the calm pulse of Ki echoing beneath the tranquil night sky. The world of Dragon Ball began not with a scream, but with a quiet inspiration. Its creator, Akira Toriyama, first conceived the series after being inspired by the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. The initial protagonist, Son Goku, was a direct homage to the novel's main character, the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. This literary foundation provided a rich bedrock of mythology and adventure, setting the stage for a story that would eventually span galaxies. In the very first chapter, published in 1984 in Weekly Shonen Jump, Goku was introduced as a naive, tailed boy living alone in the wilderness. He believed his deceased grandfather, Gohan, was a monster, a detail that established his isolated and innocent upbringing. His first meeting with Bulma, a teenage girl from the city, was the catalyst for the entire saga. She was searching for the mystical Dragon Balls, a set of 7 orange orbs that, when gathered, could summon the wish-granting dragon Shenron. This simple quest for wishes would eventually grow into a narrative concerning the fate of the universe itself. The series' original tone was heavily comedic and focused on adventure, with Toriyama's signature gag-style artwork defining its early aesthetic. Goku's primary weapon was not his fists, but a magical staff called the Power Pole, another item borrowed from the Journey to the West legend. This pole had the ability to extend to incredible lengths, allowing Goku to bridge chasms or strike distant foes. He also traveled on a small, fluffy cloud called the Flying Nimbus, which could only be ridden by those with a pure heart. This requirement immediately established Goku's inherent goodness, a core trait that would remain constant throughout his life. The first antagonist Goku and Bulma faced was a desert bandit named Yamcha. Yamcha was initially a fearsome figure, known for robbing travelers with the help of his companion, a small cat-like creature named Puar. He had a crippling fear of women, which caused him to flee in a comedic panic whenever Bulma was near. This phobia was a recurring joke that humanized the would-be villain, setting him on a path to eventually become one of Goku's most reliable allies. His signature fighting technique was the Wolf Fang Fist, a wild, animalistic barrage of strikes. The group's journey led them to the remote home of the Oolong, a shape-shifting pig who could transform into any form for a brief period. Oolong was a coward who had been terrorizing a small village by posing as a monster. After being defeated by Goku, he was forced to join Bulma's quest, adding another quirky companion to the growing cast. His shape-shifting abilities, while limited to 5 seconds per transformation, often provided crucial, if silly, solutions to problems. The next major destination was Frypan Mountain, where they encountered the fire-wielding Gumiao and his adopted daughter, Chi-Chi. Gumiao was a colossal man, a former student of Goku's grandfather, Gohan. A cooking accident had set his entire mountain ablaze, a perpetual fire that prevented him from leaving his castle. Goku used the power pole to retrieve the Bashoshin, a magical fan that could extinguish the flames from the top of a tall tower. This act of help solidified a bond between Goku and Chi-Chi, quiet, helmeted girl who would later become his wife. Chi-Chi was initially portrayed as a demure and timid character, a stark contrast to the fierce warrior and protective mother she would eventually become. The quest for the Dragon Balls inevitably attracted other, more dangerous seekers. The first true major antagonist was Emperor Pilaf, a small blue-skinned man with aspirations of world domination. Pilaf was a comically inept ruler, commanding a small castle and 2 loyal subordinates, Shu, a dog-like ninja, and Mai, a skilled female operative.
His plans were constantly foiled by Goku and his friends, often in humiliating fashion. It was during a confrontation at Pilaf's castle that Goku first experienced the full moon. His grandfather had long warned him to never look at the full moon, a warning he had forgotten. The celestial light triggered a terrifying transformation, revealing Goku's Saiyan biology for the first time. He transformed into a giant, rampaging great ape, a form that multiplied his power tenfold but stripped him of all reason and control. This was the first hint that Goku was not of this earth, a mystery that would not be fully unraveled for many years. The only way to stop his rampage was for Bulma's friend, the turtle hermit Master Roshi, to blow up the moon with a powerful Kamehameha wave. This drastic solution prevented further immediate danger, but also erased a key part of the world's night sky. Master Roshi, also known as the Invincible Old Master, was a legendary martial artist living on a small island with his talking turtle, Umigame. Despite his perverted and often lazy demeanor, Roshi was a master of combat and the creator of the Kamehameha wave. This technique, which involved focusing energy into the palms and unleashing it as a massive blue beam, would become the most iconic attack in the entire series. Roshi's first demonstration of the Kamehameha wave, used to put out the fires of Frypan Mountain, was a moment of pure awe for the young Goku. It was this display of power that convinced Goku and Krillin, a fellow student, to undergo Roshi's brutal training regimen. Krillin was introduced as a rival student from the Orin Temple who came to Roshi to become stronger. He was short, bald, and initially deceitful, trying to sabotage Goku's training. Despite this rocky start, a strong friendship developed between the two boys as they endured Roshi's challenges. Their training involved delivering milk to a terrifyingly fast dinosaur, working construction sites without tools, and swimming with sharks. These tasks were not about brute strength, but about building discipline, speed, and endurance. The culmination of their training was their entry into the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, a prestigious fighting competition that would become a recurring event in the series. The tournament introduced a wider world of martial artists. One of the most notable competitors was Nam, a fighter from a drought-stricken village who needed the prize money to buy water for his people. His compassionate motive made him an honorable opponent rather than a villain. Another fighter was Bacterian, a repulsive man who never bathed and relied on his stench to overwhelm his opponents. Goku's lack of a sense of smell, a trait he had since infancy, rendered Bacterian's primary weapon useless. The final match of the tournament was between Goku and Jackie Chun, a disguised Master Roshi who had entered to teach his students a lesson in humility. The battle was a spectacular display of their training, featuring after images, the Kamehameha, and incredible physical prowess. Roshi ultimately won the match by using a Kamehameha wave to destroy the moon, which he had secretly restored to prevent Goku from transforming into a great ape during the full moon that was scheduled for that night. This victory served its purpose, showing Goku and Krillin that there was always someone stronger, and that the path of a martial artist was one of endless self-improvement. After the tournament, the narrative shifted to a more serious threat, the Red Ribbon Army. This powerful, technologically advanced mercenary organization was also seeking the Dragon Balls to take over the world. Goku's journey to thwart them became a long, episodic adventure that took him across the globe. He first confronted Colonel Silver, the commander of the Army's northern headquarters, and easily defeated him. This established the Red Ribbon Army as a persistent, hierarchical enemy with multiple bases and commanders. The next major base was in the Snowy Mountains, commanded by General White. Here, Goku encountered the assassin, Major Metallotron, a cyborg whose body was made of a nearly indestructible metal. Goku's initial attacks were useless until he realized that the metal was weak to corrosion. He used a bottle of cola to rust the cyborg's body, demonstrating that his strength was not just physical, but also clever and resourceful.
This arc also introduced the first instance of Goku using a vehicle, a car he won from a gang, though his terrible driving was a source of comedy. The search for the next Dragon Ball led Goku to the tropical area of Jingle Village, where he met the gentle giant Upa and his father Bora. Bora was the guardian of the sacred land of Korin, where a Dragon Ball was kept. The village was being terrorized by mercenary Tao, a legendary assassin hired by the Red Ribbon Army. Tao was a truly formidable foe, a man who could kill with a single blow and could throw a pillar to travel across the ocean. In their first encounter, Tao effortlessly defeated Goku and murdered Bora, a moment of shocking brutality that was one of the series' first major tragedies. This event marked a significant tonal shift, showing that the stakes were now life and death. Goku, enraged and heartbroken, trained by climbing the towering Korin Tower to seek a power-up. Korin Tower was a massive pillar that reached high into the sky, said to be the home of a mystical cat sage. The climb itself was a test of endurance, taking Goku 3 full days. At the top, he met Korin, a wise but eccentric cat who lived in a small chamber filled with sacred water. Korin subjected Goku to a test to obtain the ultra-divine water, which was supposedly a great power-up. After a grueling chase where Goku tried to take the water from Korin, it was revealed that the real test was one of character. The actual ultra-divine water was a deadly poison that would only unlock a person's latent potential if they had the sheer willpower to survive it. Goku drank the poison, endured unimaginable pain, and awoke with his power significantly multiplied. This was the first of many such power-ups in the series, establishing a pattern of transcending limits through extreme trials. Empowered, Goku descended the tower and confronted mercenary Tao again. This time, the fight was completely one-sided. Goku's new speed and strength allowed him to easily dodge Tao's attacks, including his deadly Dodon Ray, a technique similar to the Kamehameha, but fired from the finger. Goku defeated Tao with a single punch, avenging Bora and demonstrating his massive growth. He then continued his campaign against the Red Ribbon Army, eventually storming their main headquarters. The final leader of the Red Ribbon Army was Commander Red, a man with the childish wish to become taller. His chief scientist and the true mastermind behind the Army's technology was Dr. Gero, a character who would become vastly more important decades later in the story. At the headquarters, Goku faced Staff Officer Black, Red's right-hand man, and a series of advanced androids. The most significant of these was Android 8, a large, powerful android who refused to fight due to his gentle nature. Goku befriended him, nicknaming him Ater, and their bond showed that not all creations of the army were evil. After defeating Commander Red and Black, Goku confronted the ultimate weapon of the Red Ribbon Army, General Blue, a powerful psychic who had been reactivated. Blue was a formidable opponent, whose psychic powers could paralyze opponents completely. However, Goku discovered that Blue had a severe fear of rodents, a weakness that was exploited when Goku summoned a swarm of bats and mice to distract him. With the Red Ribbon Army effectively dismantled, Goku's final obstacle to gathering the Dragon Balls was the pirate Captain Coral and his crew. This was a shorter, more light-hearted adventure that served as a cool-down from the intense army conflict. It involved a treasure map and a hidden fortress, harkening back to the series' adventure roots. Goku eventually gathered all 7 Dragon Balls and summoned Shenron for the first time in the series. His wish was not for himself, but to resurrect Bora, the father of his friend Upa. This selfless act solidified Goku's role as a hero who fought for others, not for personal gain.
The Crane Hermit was the brother and rival of Master Roshi, and their feud extended to their students. Teen was a serious, three-eyed martial artist with a cold demeanor, while Chiaotzu was a small, pale, psychic companion. They arrived at the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, which Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha had also entered. The tournament served as a new stage for conflict, pitting the Turtle School against the Crane School. The 22nd tournament featured a new roster of unique fighters. One was King Choppa, the reigning champion from a previous tournament, who was defeated by Teen in an instant. Another was Pom Put, a fighter who had mastered a unique style of martial arts and was considered a favorite to win. Goku's fight with Pom Put was over quickly, demonstrating how far Goku had surpassed conventional martial artists. The central conflict of the tournament, however, was the grudge match between the Turtle and Crane schools. Yamcha fought Teen first and was brutally defeated, his leg broken by Teen's ruthless techniques. This injury would have lasting effects, subtly impacting Yamcha's future as a frontline fighter. Krillin then fought Chiaotzu, whose psychic powers and small size made him a tricky opponent. Krillin managed to win by exploiting Chiaotzu's predictable attack patterns, using his own head as a weapon in a clever maneuver. The semifinals featured Goku against Master Roshi, once again disguised as Jackie Chun. Their fight was a masterclass in martial arts, with Roshi pushing Goku to his limits. Goku even managed to replicate the Kamehameha mid-air, a technique Roshi had never seen before. Roshi ultimately forfeited the match, recognizing that Goku's potential was limitless and that he needed to face Teen himself. The final match was between Goku and Teen Shinhan. It was an epic battle that pushed both fighters to their absolute limits. Teen used the multi-arm technique, the Four Witches technique, to overwhelm Goku. Goku countered with his own after-image technique. The most dramatic moment came when Teen used the Tri-Beam, or Kikoho, a powerful blast that consumed the user's life energy. He used it to destroy the tournament ring, hoping to force a ring-out victory. Goku, however, was saved by the shockwave of his own Kamehameha colliding with the arena floor, launching him high into the air. He used the power pole to break his fall, but because he used an external object, he was disqualified, making Tien the winner. Despite this, Tien was deeply affected by the battle and Goku's honorable spirit. He turned on his own master, Saru Sinin, and vowed to become a better person. This tournament arc was crucial for introducing Tien and Chiaotzu as complex characters who would abandon their evil upbringing to become vital allies in the battles to come. It was a story of redemption and the true meaning of martial arts. As the tournament concluded, a new and immediate threat emerged. A demonic figure named Tambourine, working for a mysterious being known as King Piccolo, appeared and killed Krillin. Goku found his friend's lifeless body, sending him into a rage unlike any he had shown before. This personal loss marked the beginning of the most dire conflict the world had yet faced. Goku immediately pursued Tambourine, fueled by grief and vengeance. His chase led him to a confrontation where he easily overpowered and killed Tambourine, avenging Krillin. However, this was only a minion of the true enemy. King Piccolo was an ancient Namekian demon who had been sealed away centuries ago by Master Roshi's master, Mutaito, using the dangerous Mafupa, or evil containment wave. Now freed, King Piccolo sought to gather the Dragon Balls and wish for his youth to be restored, allowing him to plunge the world into a new age of darkness. He was a purely evil being, with no redeeming qualities, who saw humanity as insects.
King Piccolo's other children, Cymbal and Drum, were also powerful fighters. Cymbal was killed by Goku, while Drum easily defeated Tien Shinhan, showing the vast power gap between the heroes and the new threat. In their first confrontation, King Piccolo, even in his aged state, soundly beat Goku. He punched a hole straight through Goku's chest, leaving him for dead. This was the closest Goku had ever come to death. He was saved by a Senzu Bean, a magical bean from Korin that could fully heal any injury and restore one's stamina. Yajirobe, a gruff and gluttonous samurai living near Korin Tower, had carried Goku's body to the tower and was introduced as a new, reluctant ally. While Goku recovered, King Piccolo successfully summoned Shenron and regained his youth, becoming even more powerful. He then proceeded to kill Shenron, turning the Dragon Balls into inert stones and ensuring no one could use them against him. The world was plunged into despair, with its greatest hope seemingly extinguished. Goku, however, had not given up. He returned to Korin Tower and drank the last of the ultra-divine water, an even more potent version than before. This time, it did not unlock his potential, but rather forced his body to adapt to its absolute peak. When he faced the rejuvenated King Piccolo again, the battle was far more even. Goku's power had increased dramatically, and he was able to fight on par with the Demon King. In a desperate final attack, Goku used his full power to launch a Kamehameha wave that pierced through King Piccolo's chest, mortally wounding him. With his dying breath, King Piccolo coughed up an egg, which contained his reincarnation, Piccolo Jr., and launched it far away to ensure his legacy would continue. This act set the stage for the next generation of conflict. With King Piccolo dead, the Dragon Balls were restored, as the death of the creator of the balls also killed the dragon. A new guardian,
Kami appeared and offered to take the position. Kami was the good half of the original Namekian who had expelled his evil half, which became King Piccolo. Because they were two halves of the same being, Kami's life was tied to Piccolo's. He restored Shenron and became the new guardian of Earth. To honor Krillin and the others killed by King Piccolo's minions, Goku used the Dragon Balls to wish them back to life. The saga concluded with a time skip leading to the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. This tournament was marked by the entry of a mysterious, green-skinned youth named Ma Jr., who was in fact the reincarnated Piccolo Jr., now grown and seeking revenge on Goku. The tournament became the stage for their final confrontation. Other familiar faces, like Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha, also competed, showing their own growth. Chi-Chi also returned, now a young woman and a powerful fighter in her own right, seeking to hold Goku to a marriage promise he made as a child. The final match of the tournament was, as expected, between Goku and Piccolo Jr. Their battle was even more destructive and intense than the fight with King Piccolo. Piccolo demonstrated a vast array of abilities, including the ability to grow to a giant size and regenerate lost limbs. The fight spilled out of the arena and devastated the surrounding landscape. Goku, having trained for 3 years with Kami himself, was now vastly more powerful. He used a new technique, the reverse Kamehameha, fired from his feet to propel himself through Piccolo's chest, severely wounding him.
Rather than killing his opponent, Goku showed mercy, sparing Piccolo's life. He argued that Piccolo was his last connection to a worthy rival, and that without him, Goku's own growth would stagnate. This act of unexpected compassion shocked everyone, including Piccolo. Goku then used the last wish on the Dragon Balls to remove the bomb that King Piccolo had implanted in the world's king, finally bringing peace. The saga ended with Goku and Chi-Chi flying off on the flying Nimbus to get married, concluding the original Dragon Ball series and setting the stage for the cosmic conflicts of Dragon Ball Z. The transition to Dragon Ball Z was marked by the arrival of a new, overwhelming threat from space. A warrior named Raditz landed on Earth seeking his little brother, Kakarot. This revelation forever changed Goku's understanding of himself. He was not a human from Earth, but a Saiyan, a warrior race from the planet Vegeta. He had been sent to Earth as an infant to conquer it, but a head injury had erased his mission and gave him a gentle heart. Raditz was immensely powerful, and neither Goku nor Piccolo could stand against him alone. In a desperate move, Goku sacrificed his own life, allowing Piccolo to kill them both with his special beam cannon, a technique he had developed to kill Goku. This act of self-sacrifice was the first of many, establishing the new, higher stakes of the series. Before he died, Raditz warned that two even stronger Saiyans, Vegeta and Nappa, were on their way to Earth in 1 year's time. This set a definitive deadline for the Earth's defenders to prepare. With Goku dead and training in the afterlife with King Kai, a higher-level deity, the responsibility of defending Earth fell to Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Chiaotzu. Gohan, Goku's 4-year-old son, was revealed to possess a hidden, colossal power that emerged when he was enraged. Piccolo, in a surprising turn, took Gohan into the wilderness for a year of harsh training, forging a unique bond with the boy he had once sought to kill. The year of training saw each of the warriors push their limits. On King Kai's small planet, Goku underwent a unique training regimen, learning the Kaioken, a technique that multiplied his power and speed at the risk of damaging his body, and the Spirit Bomb, a move that gathered energy from all living things. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Z-Fighters awaited the inevitable arrival of the Saiyans with a sense of dread and determination. When Vegeta and Nappa finally arrived, the battle for Earth's survival began in earnest. The Saiyan invasion arc was one of the most brutal in the series. Nappa alone decimated the Earth's forces. Yamcha was the first to fall, killed by a Cyberman, a plant-like fighter that self-destructed. Tien Shinhan died after exhausting all his life force in a final tri-beam against Nappa. Chiaotzu sacrificed himself in a failed attempt to kill Nappa with a self-destruct technique. Piccolo was the next to die, killed by Nappa while saving Gohan. Because Piccolo's life was linked to Kami, his death also meant the destruction of the Earth's Dragon Balls, eliminating any hope of resurrection. The tide only turned when Goku finally arrived, having been delayed in his journey back from the afterlife. He was now far stronger than before, and he effortlessly defeated Nappa, breaking his back and leaving him to be executed by a disgusted Vegeta. The battle between Goku and the Saiyan Prince, Vegeta, was the true climax of the arc. It was a fight of unprecedented scale and power. Goku used the Kaioken, pushing it to ×3 and even ×4 to match Vegeta's immense power level. Vegeta, in response, created an artificial moon to transform into a great ape, regaining his overwhelming advantage.
Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe were forced to intervene. Gohan, remembering his training, damaged Vegeta's tail, forcing him back to his base form. In a final, collaborative effort, a wounded Goku held Vegeta down, while Krillin prepared to kill him with a Spirit Bomb-powered sword. At the last moment, Goku spared Vegeta, allowing the defeated prince to flee the planet. This decision was controversial among his friends, but Goku believed that fighting Vegeta again would make him stronger. The cost of victory was immense, with many of Earth's greatest warriors dead and the Dragon Balls gone. The only hope for resurrection lay with the Namekian Dragon Balls, as their creator, Guru, was still alive. This set the stage for the next journey, an interstellar adventure to the planet Namek. Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin traveled to Namek in a spaceship, hoping to use the Dragon Balls there to wish their friends back to life. Unbeknownst to them, they were not the only ones with that goal. The galactic tyrant, Frieza, had also arrived on Namek with his forces, seeking the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. The Namek saga introduced a vast new cosmos and hierarchy of power. Frieza was the emperor of a large portion of the universe, and his army included the Ginyu Force, a team of elite mercenaries with unique and powerful abilities. The race to gather the 7 Namekian Dragon Balls became a tense game of mouse and cat between the Earthlings, the Namekian survivors, and Frieza's forces. The Namekian Dragon Balls, created by the planet's Grand Elder, Guru, were larger than Earth's and required a specific password to activate. They could grant 3 wishes as opposed to Earth's 1 and had a much shorter cooldown period. The Namekians themselves were a peaceful, green-skinned race with natural abilities, such as stretching their limbs and regenerating from injuries. The central conflict on Namek escalated dramatically with the arrival of the Ginyu Force. This team, consisting of Captain Ginyu, Rikum, Birder, Jeice, and Goldo, were flamboyant and incredibly powerful. They easily overwhelmed Vegeta, who had also come to Namek for the Dragon Balls, as well as Gohan and Krillin. The situation seemed hopeless until Goku finally arrived on Namek, having completed his journey and trained in 100 times Earth's gravity. His power level was now astronomical, and he effortlessly defeated every member of the Ginyu Force. The final and most significant battle of the saga was between Goku and Frieza. Frieza was revealed to be one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and he had multiple transformations to suppress his power. He first transformed to his second form, then to his third, each time becoming larger and more monstrous. Goku struggled to keep up, even with the Kaioken times 20. In a final, desperate act, Frieza transformed into his ultimate compact fourth form, a sleek and powerful being that was far beyond anything Goku could handle. The battle was brutal and destructive, with Frieza eventually killing Krillin in front of Goku. This act of cruelty and the resulting rage triggered Goku's own transformation. For the first time in 1,000 years, a Saiyan became a Super Saiyan. His hair turned a golden blonde, his eyes teal, and an aura of blazing energy surrounded him. The legend was real, and the power was immense. The Super Saiyan Goku was now an equal match for Frieza at his full power. Their battle raged across the deteriorating landscape of Namek, with Frieza using his signature Death Beam and Destructo Disc attacks. Goku, however, was faster, stronger, and filled with a cold fury. He thoroughly dominated the fight, showing Frieza what true power felt like. As the planet began to explode, Goku offered Frieza a chance to live, giving him some of his energy to escape. Frieza, in his pride, rejected the mercy and attacked, leading Goku to finally obliterate him with a Kamehameha. Goku himself was believed to have died in Namek's explosion, but he had in fact managed to escape at the last second in a spaceship. The Namek saga concluded with the Namekian Dragon Balls, now under the control of the new Grand Elder Dende, being used to wish everyone killed by Frieza and his men back to life, and then to transport them all to Earth, except for Goku and Frieza. It was a victory, but one that had fundamentally altered the power scale of the series and introduced the transformative power of the Super Saiyan.
The period following the destruction of Namek was one of uneasy peace. The Earth's warriors, having been resurrected and returned home, believed Goku to be dead. Unbeknownst to them, he had survived the explosion and managed to drift through space, eventually crash landing on the distant planet Yardrat. This world was inhabited by a peaceful, gentle species with a unique mastery over spiritual and teleportation techniques. Goku, ever the dedicated martial artist, remained there to convalesce and learn their ways. The most significant technique he acquired was the instant transmission, an ability that allowed him to lock on to a familiar energy signature and teleport to its location anywhere in the universe in an instant. This skill would become one of his most reliable and frequently used tools for the rest of his life. Back on Earth, a new threat emerged in the form of a mysterious youth who arrived in a spaceship. His name was Trunks, and he had lavender hair and a calm, serious demeanor. He easily dispatched Frieza, who had somehow survived and arrived on Earth with his father, King Cold, seeking revenge.
After this stunning display of power, Trunks revealed his true identity to Goku's son Gohan and his friends. He was the son of Vegeta and Bulma from a future timeline, a dystopian world ravaged by two powerful androids. In his timeline, a heart virus had killed Goku before the androids appeared, leading to the deaths of all the other Z fighters except for his mother and an older Gohan. He had come to the past to deliver both a warning and a cure for the virus that would strike Goku in a few months. This revelation introduced the complex concept of alternate timelines to the series, expanding the narrative beyond a single linear history. Trunks' arrival shifted the focus from extraterrestrial threats to man-made ones. The primary antagonist of this new arc was Dr. Garo, the former chief scientist of the Red Ribbon Army. Harboring a deep grudge against Goku for dismantling the army years ago, he had dedicated his life to creating androids powerful enough to exact his revenge. Operating from a secret laboratory, he had turned himself into Android 20, a cyborg capable of absorbing the energy of his opponents. He also activated androids 19, 16, 17, and 18. However, his creations quickly turned on him. Android 17 killed Dr. Garo, taking control of the operation and setting himself, his sister Android 18, and the silent Android 16 loose upon the world. The androids were not the mindless machines the Z-Fighters had anticipated. Android 16 was a purely mechanical being who loved nature and abhorred fighting, though he was programmed to kill Goku. Androids 17 and 18 were cynical, rebellious teenagers with infinite energy cores, making them tireless and immensely powerful. They operated on their own whims, causing chaos for their own amusement. The Z-Fighters, having trained for 3 years in anticipation, were still utterly outmatched. Vegeta, however, achieved a monumental breakthrough. After years of relentless training and simmering rage at being surpassed by Goku and even his own future son, he unlocked the power of a Super Saiyan. His transformation was born of pure ego and a desire to prove his Saiyan pride, and he arrived on the battlefield with a newfound arrogance, confident he could handle the androids. He initially overwhelmed Android 19, who possessed energy-absorbing abilities, by using his raw power to destroy the android's hands before vaporizing him. This victory was short-lived as the more powerful androids 17 and 18 arrived and easily defeated the entire group, including the newly transformed Super Saiyan Vegeta. They broke his arm with casual ease, humiliating him and cementing their threat level. It was at this lowest point that the true mastermind was revealed.
A creature known as Cell emerged from the shadows. He was a bio-android created by Dr. Jiro's supercomputer, designed from the cellular material of the universe's greatest fighters, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, and King Cold. His goal was to achieve his perfect form by absorbing Android 17 and Android 18. To do this, he traveled from his own future timeline in a time machine, one that the present-day Trunks had used. This created a paradoxical loop where the androids of the main timeline were far more powerful than those of Trunks' future, and Cell himself was a product of a different branch in time.
Cell's existence introduced a new kind of horror to the series. He began by draining the life force of entire cities to increase his power, evolving from his small, insect-like, imperfect form into a larger, more powerful second form. The Z-Fighters, realizing the stakes, were forced to put aside their confrontations with the androids to face this greater threat. Piccolo, in a desperate bid for power, chose to refuse with Kami. Since Kami was the good half of the original Namekian, and Piccolo was the reincarnation of the evil half, their fusion made Piccolo a complete being once more. This merger vastly increased his power, making him a match for the second form of Cell and even Android 17. However, during their battle, Cell managed to absorb Android 17, triggering his transformation into his semi-perfect state. This new form was bulbous and powerful, far surpassing any single warrior. Even a combined assault from Vegeta and his son Trunks, now both Super Saiyans, proved futile. In a moment of reckless pride, Vegeta, believing he could handle the transformed Cell, allowed him to absorb Android 18 to achieve his ultimate perfect form. This was a catastrophic miscalculation. Perfect Cell was a sleek, powerful being, calm and supremely confident. His power was absolute, and he effortlessly defeated Vegeta. To demonstrate his superiority and to force a challenge from the only fighter he considered worthy, Goku, he announced the Cell Games, a tournament to be held in 10 days on a grand platform he constructed, where he would face the world's strongest fighters one by one. This 10-day period became a frantic final training session for the heroes. While Goku and Gohan trained in the hyperbolic time chamber, a room within Kami's lookout, where 1 year inside equated to only 1 day in the real world. Vegeta and Trunks entered as well. It was here that a new level of Super Saiyan was discovered. Trunks, focusing solely on raw power, achieved a grade 3 form, which bulked his muscles to an immense degree, granting him tremendous strength at the cost of all his speed. Vegeta and Goku achieved a more balanced grade 2, or ascended Super Saiyan state. However, it was Gohan, now 11 years old, who held the greatest potential. Goku sensed that his son's latent power, which had flared up in moments of rage since he was a child, was the key to victory. He trained Gohan to achieve the ascended Super Saiyan form and then pushed him further, helping him to maintain the transformation for an entire year within the chamber to acclimate his body to the strain. When the Cell Games commenced, the Z-Fighters gathered on the makeshift arena. Goku fought Cell first in a spectacular battle, but he eventually surrendered, stating that he was not strong enough to win and that he believed Gohan was the one who could defeat Cell. This placed an immense burden on the young boy. Gohan was reluctant to fight, his gentle nature conflicting with the savage power buried within him. To provoke this power, Cell created 7 smaller versions of himself, called Cell Juniors, which attacked the other Z-Fighters. Seeing his friends, including his father, being brutally beaten, Gohan's rage finally erupted.
This was not a simple Super Saiyan transformation. It was something new, something beyond. His hair became spikier, standing more on end, and he was surrounded by a crackling aura of lightning. This was the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, a legendary ascension that multiplied his power far beyond that of a regular Super Saiyan. He effortlessly destroyed the Cell Juniors, and then proceeded to dominate Perfect Cell. In a final, desperate act, Cell regurgitated Android 18 and reverted to his semi-perfect form, then attempted to self-destruct to destroy the Earth. Goku, in a moment of self-sacrifice, used instant transmission to teleport Cell to King Kai's planet, where the explosion killed Goku, King Kai, Bubbles, and Gregory. But Cell, having regenerated from a single surviving cell due to his Namekian DNA, returned to Earth more powerful than ever, now possessing the instant transmission technique as well. He killed future Trunks with a single blow, sending the present-day Trunks into a despairing rage. In the final, climactic moment of the battle, a wounded Gohan, with encouragement from his father's spirit and a final assist from Vegeta, mustered all his remaining energy to counter Cell's solar Kamehameha with his own one-armed Kamehameha wave. The beam struggle ended with Cell being completely vaporized, finally ending the threat. The victory was bittersweet, costing the lives of Goku and Trunks. With the Dragon Balls once again inert due to Piccolo's fusion with Kami, the Earth was left without its guardian and its wish-granting dragon. 7 years of peace followed, a period known as the Peaceful World Saga. This time skip allowed the characters to grow and change. Gohan, now a teenager, pursued a civilian life, attending Orange Star High School while hiding his incredible powers from everyone, including his girlfriend Videl, the daughter of Mr. Satan, the world champion who had falsely taken credit for defeating Cell. Videl was a skilled martial artist in her own right and grew suspicious of Gohan's secret identity as the superhero Great Saiyaman, who fought crime in a flamboyant and awkwardly choreographed costume. This era was a return to the more light-hearted, comedic tone of the original Dragon Ball, focusing on school life and character relationships. The peace was shattered by the announcement of the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament. Goku, granted a 24-hour pass to leave the afterlife, returned to Earth to participate, reuniting with his family and friends. The tournament served as a gathering point for the narrative, but it was quickly hijacked by a group of powerful magic users known as the Supreme Kai and his attendant, Kibito. They revealed that a far greater danger was imminent, the release of an ancient wizard named Babidi, who sought to resurrect a being of pure evil known as Majin Buu. Babidi operated from a massive labyrinthian spaceship that had been buried deep within the Earth. His power was not physical, but magical. He could control the minds of others, amplifying their inner darkness to make them his servants. He had already enthralled 2 powerful fighters, the galactic warlord Pukus and the Kai's own former attendant, Dabura, the Demon King. Dabura possessed terrifying abilities, such as turning people to stone with his saliva and conjuring deadly weapons. To provide Babidi with the energy needed to revive Buu, his spaceship absorbed the ki released from intense battles. This forced the Z-Fighters to fight his minions within the ship. It was during these battles that Vegeta, frustrated by his perceived stagnation and envious of Goku's progress in the afterlife,
willingly allowed himself to be possessed by Babidi. This Majin influence removed his moral restraints and amplified his power, returning him to the ruthless warrior he once was. His primary goal was to have a final, no-holds-barred rematch with Goku, free from the burdens of a family and a peaceful life. The resulting battle between the two Super Saiyan 2 warriors was one of the most visceral and emotionally charged in the series. They fought with a brutal intensity, causing massive collateral damage, and acknowledged the deep, complex rivalry that defined their relationship. Their fight provided Babidi with more than enough energy to complete the revival of Majin Buu. However, the creature that emerged from the egg was not the ruthless destroyer Babidi had anticipated. This initial form of Majin Buu was a childlike, pink blob-like being with a simple mind and a propensity for both extreme violence and naive curiosity. He was easily manipulated by Babidi, but also possessed an unpredictable nature. After being provoked by Dabura, Buu turned the Demon King into a cookie and ate him. He then proceeded to kill Babidi himself after the wizard tried to destroy him for his disobedience. Now a truly free agent, Buu began a rampage across the earth, turning millions of people into candy and absorbing them. His power was regenerative and seemingly limitless. He could recover from any injury, even being vaporized. In a final, desperate act to stop Buu, Vegeta, having broken free from Babidi's control and realizing the gravity of his actions, chose to sacrifice himself in a massive self-destruction explosion. The blast obliterated Buu completely, but due to his magical regeneration, he simply reformed, good as new. This act of self-sacrifice was Vegeta's ultimate redemption, a final atonement for a lifetime of pride and misdeeds. With Vegeta dead and Goku's time on Earth running out, the responsibility fell to Gohan. The Supreme Kai took Gohan to the sacred world of the Kais, where he underwent a ritual to unlock his latent potential, performed by the elderly Grand Supreme Kai. This awakening did not change Gohan's form, but it drew out all his hidden power, making him the strongest unfused warrior at that point in the series. He returned to Earth as Ultimate Gohan, confident and powerful, and began to dominate the now evil and more powerful Super Buu. However, Buu's cunning proved to be his greatest weapon. Realizing he was outmatched, he absorbed Gohan along with Goten and Trunks, gaining their power, intelligence, and abilities. This created Buuhan, a being of near unstoppable power. The only hope left was the Metamoran fusion technique, a dance that allowed two individuals of similar size and power to merge into a single, vastly more powerful warrior. After Goku was returned to life by the Namekian Dragon Balls, he taught the fusion dance to his youngest son, Goten, and Trunks. They successfully fused into Gotenks, a brash and arrogant but incredibly powerful fighter who achieved the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. Gotenks fought Super Buu inside his own body in a dimension called the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, but their overconfidence and the time limit on their fusion ultimately led to failure. With all other options exhausted, Goku and Vegeta, who had been resurrected for the final battle, entered Buu's body to rescue their absorbed friends. After freeing them, they confronted the core of Buu's being, the original, innocent, fat Buu. They managed to separate him from the evil entity, which transformed into a thinner, more purely evil Kid Buu. This was Buu's original form, a being of pure chaos and destruction, with no reason or restraint. The final battle took place on the Supreme Kai's planet, with Goku and Vegeta fighting Kid Buu.
Goku, having mastered the Super Saiyan 3 form in the afterlife, fought with all his might, but the form drained his energy too quickly, especially while in a living body. Vegeta, acknowledging Goku's superiority, created a diversion to buy Goku time to charge a spirit bomb using energy borrowed from everyone on Earth. The final spirit bomb, massive and glowing with the hope of an entire planet, was pushed by Goku towards Kid Buu, utterly erasing him from existence. With the universe saved once more, Goku used a wish from the Namekian Dragon Balls to reincarnate Buu as a good-hearted human child named Oob, hoping to train him to become Earth's next guardian. The series concluded with Goku leaving the World Martial Arts Tournament to begin Oob's training, symbolically passing the torch to a new generation. The final image is Goku flying off with his new student, bringing the long saga to a
The universe after the defeat of Kid Buu entered a prolonged era of peace, allowing its defenders to focus on their personal lives. Goku, true to his word, began training the reincarnated Majin Buu, now a powerful but untrained boy named Oob, at his home. He saw in Oob the potential for a new great protector for Earth and a final worthy rival to test his skills against. This commitment meant he was often absent from his family's farm, leaving Chi-Chi to manage the household and their second son, Goten, to his studies. Vegeta, having fully embraced his life on Earth, continued to live with Bulma and their daughter Bulla in the lap of luxury at Capsule Corporation. His pride remained intact, but it was now channeled into a quiet domestic rivalry with Goku, constantly measuring his own progress against his eternal benchmark. The world itself had largely moved on from the constant threats of annihilation, with Mr. Satan enjoying his fame as the savior from the Buu incident, and the general public remaining blissfully unaware of the cosmic struggles that had occurred just years prior. This peaceful status quo was the foundation upon which the new stories of Dragon Ball Super would be built, beginning with a threat not of malice, but of divine bureaucracy. The divine hierarchy of the Dragon Ball universe was fully fleshed out in the subsequent years. The gods of destruction, beings tasked with maintaining cosmic balance by eliminating outdated planets and civilizations, were introduced as key figures. Each god of destruction has a twin-like relationship with an angel, a serene and impossibly powerful attendant who serves as their martial arts master, caretaker, and chauffeur. The angels remain neutral and are forbidden from interfering in mortal affairs, only acting on the direct orders of their destroyer. The one for Universe 7, where Earth is located, is Whis, a graceful and polite being with a staff that can reverse time by 3 minutes. His appointed god of destruction is Beerus, a cat-like entity who had slept for decades and whose awakening sets the plot of the new era in motion. Beerus is a capricious and terrifyingly powerful being whose whims can decide the fate of entire galaxies. His dream, in which he fought a Super Saiyan god, prompted him to seek out this legendary warrior, leading him directly to planet Earth and Son Goku. The search for the Super Saiyan God became the first major crisis of this new age. Beerus, accompanied by Whis, arrived on Earth and easily overwhelmed every fighter he encountered, including a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and a furious Vegeta. The power gap was astronomical. Beerus was on a completely different plane of existence. To confront him,
The legend of the Super Saiyan God had to be realized. This required a ritual involving 5 pure-hearted Saiyans channeling their energy into a 6th. With Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks providing the energy, the ritual transformed Goku into the Super Saiyan God. His hair and eyes turned a fiery red, and he was surrounded by a thin, fiery aura. This form was not about raw bulk or explosive power, but a refined divine energy that allowed him to compete with Beerus. Their battles shook the universe, its shockwaves felt across distant galaxies. Although Goku eventually lost the fight and the transformation faded, his performance impressed Beerus so much that he spared Earth, deciding it was worth keeping around for its interesting cuisine and potential for future entertainment. This encounter fundamentally altered the power ceiling of the series, introducing the concept of godly ki and establishing a new relationship between the mortal realm and the divine.
The aftermath of Beerus's visit saw Goku and Vegeta striving to reach this new level of power permanently. Whis agreed to take them on as students, training them on Beerus's planet in the void of space. The training was grueling, focusing not on power, but on control and the mastery of godly ki. They had to learn to keep their ki perfectly contained within their bodies, as any leakage was seen as inefficiency. A key part of this training involved learning to sense godly ki, which was imperceptible to normal mortals. Meanwhile, the cosmic consequences of Goku and Beerus's battle attracted the attention of another divine being, Champa, the god of destruction of Universe 6. Universe 6 is a twin universe to Universe 7, and Champa is Beerus's brother. Their relationship is one of intense sibling rivalry. Champa proposed a tournament between the strongest fighters of their 2 universes, with the grand prize being the Super Dragon Balls. These were planet-sized Dragon Balls scattered across both universes, created by the dragon god Salama, and possessed the power to grant any single wish without the limitations of the Namekian or earthly Dragon Balls. Champa desired to use them to swap Earth with Universe 6's Earth, which had been destroyed, because he coveted Universe 7's Earth's delicious food. The Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament introduced a new roster of powerful fighters from a parallel reality. The team from Universe 6 included Batomo, a large bear-like creature who could redirect all physical force into another dimension through his stomach; Frost, a member of Frieza's race who was initially presented as a benevolent hero, but was later revealed to be a cunning cheater, much like his Universe 7 counterpart; the robotic Magetta, whose body was made of a durable alloy and who fought with lava-based attacks, though he was sensitive to insults; the assassin Hit, a legendary killer from an ancient race who had mastered the ability to skip forward in time by a fraction of a second, making him virtually untouchable in combat; and finally, the Saiyans of Universe 6, Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale, who were a peaceful, advanced race living on the planet Sadala, and who had long since lost their tails and violent tendencies. The tournament was a showcase of new abilities and transformations. It was here that Vegeta achieved the Super Saiyan Blue form, an evolution of the Super Saiyan God that combined the godly base with the traditional Super Saiyan multiplier, resulting in blue hair and aura. He trained Kaba, his Universe 6 counterpart, to achieve the Super Saiyan transformation in the middle of their fight, a moment of pride for the Saiyan Prince. The most significant development, however, was Goku's introduction of a new, flawed technique. In his battle against Hit, he tapped into the power of the Kaioken while in his Super Saiyan Blue state, creating the Kaioken times 10 Super Saiyan Blue. This reckless combination pushed his body to its absolute limit and beyond, allowing him to overwhelm Hit's time skip ability, but at a tremendous risk of self-destruction. Universe 7 ultimately won the tournament, but the existence of the Super Dragon Balls and the powerful fighters of other universes set the stage for a conflict of unimaginable scale.
The next major threat emerged from a familiar source, Frieza. Taking advantage of the Earth's Dragon Balls, Frieza was resurrected by his loyal soldiers. Having witnessed Goku's power during their battle on Namek, and having trained in his own personal hell, he returned with a new form and a singular goal: revenge. He underwent 4 months of intense training, a first for the tyrant who had always relied on his innate power, and achieved a new transformation: Golden Frieza. This form boosted his power to the level of Super Saiyan Blue, and he immediately launched an attack on Earth. A brutal battle ensued between Goku, Vegeta, and Golden Frieza. However, Frieza had not properly acclimated to the form's massive energy drain, causing his power to plummet rapidly. Just as he was about to be defeated, he executed a contingency plan. He destroyed the Earth's core, intending to let the planet explode and kill everyone, confident that he could survive in the vacuum of space. In a moment of desperation, Whis used his power to reverse time by 3 minutes, allowing Goku to instantly teleport behind Frieza and kill him before he could trigger the planet's destruction. This event highlighted the new safety net provided by Whis' abilities, but also underscored the persistent danger Frieza represented. The most monumental event in the cosmic history of the series was the Tournament of Power. The Omni-King, Zeno, the supremely powerful and childlike ruler of all existence, found the multitude of universes to be boring. Inspired by the exhibition match between Universes 6 and 7, he decided to host a grand battle royale involving 8 of the 12 universes that had a low mortal level. The stakes were the highest imaginable. The losing universes would be completely erased from existence by the Omni-King himself. Universe 7 was forced to assemble a team of 10 of its strongest warriors to compete. This led to the recruitment of both old and new faces: Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Android 17, Android 18, Krillin, Tien Shinhan, Master Roshi, and Frieza, who was temporarily resurrected for the tournament. The tournament was a sprawling, chaotic event featuring 80 fighters from 8 different universes, each with unique abilities and transformations. It served as a massive showcase for character development and power-ups. Android 17, who had been absent for years, returned as an incredibly powerful and resourceful fighter, having spent his time as a park ranger protecting wildlife, which constantly pushed his limits. Gohan, after retraining with Piccolo, regained his ultimate form and developed a more strategic and mature fighting style. Vegeta achieved a new level of power for himself, the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, a form that surpassed the standard blue form through his sheer will and pride.
The tournament also introduced Jiren, a warrior from Universe 11, whose power was so immense it rivaled, and for a time surpassed, that of a god of destruction. His backstory, one of profound loss and a belief in absolute solitary strength, made him a compelling and stoic antagonist for the arc. The climax of the Tournament of Power was a masterclass in pushing beyond limits. Goku, in the heat of battle against Jiren, began to perceive a new instinctive form that moved without thought. This was the Ultra Instinct, a divine technique that even the angels had mastered, but which was nearly impossible for mortals to achieve. It separated the consciousness from the body, allowing the body to react and move on its own, to evade and counterattacks with perfect efficiency. The initial sign of this was the Ultra Instinct sign, or omen, where Goku's hair turned a silvery black and his eyes a piercing silver. He moved with an ethereal fluidity, effortlessly dodging Jiren's assaults. However, this form was incomplete and unstable. After being pushed to the absolute brink by Jiren and receiving energy from his friends and rivals, including Frieza and Android 17, Goku finally achieved the complete, perfected Ultra Instinct. His hair turned a brilliant silver, and his aura became a calm, blazing white. In this state, he was able to overwhelm Jiren completely. The tournament concluded with Universe 7 as the victor, thanks to a self-sacrificial act from Frieza and Android 17, who worked together to ensure Goku remained the last fighter standing. As the winner, Goku used the Super Dragon Balls to wish back all the erased universes, an act of mercy that impressed the Omni King and ensured the continued existence of the multiverse. Android 17's personal wish was for a simple, sturdy ship, a humble request that reflected his character, though he was secretly granted the restoration of all the erased universes as well. In the aftermath of the Tournament of Power, the universe entered another period of calm, but new threats soon began to stir. The first was the galactic thief Planet Eater Moro. A sorcerer of immense age and power, Moro had been imprisoned for 10 million years within the Galactic Patrol headquarters after wreaking havoc across the galaxy. His unique ability was to absorb the life energy of entire planets along with the ki of any living being, making him stronger with every encounter. After a prison break freed him, he began a new campaign of destruction, targeting New Namek to absorb its rich life force. His magic was a stark contrast to the ki-based fighting of the Z-Fighters, allowing him to disable opponents, create powerful illusions, and manipulate the environment. Even Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue forms were utterly outmatched, as Moro simply absorbed their energy to fuel himself. This forced the two Saiyans to seek new, specialized training. Vegeta traveled to planet Yardrat to master their advanced spirit control techniques, learning to separate his own energy from his body to prevent Moro from absorbing it, and even learning how to restore the life energy Moro had stolen from planets. Goku, meanwhile, returned to King Kai's planet and then to Maris, a Galactic Patrol officer who was secretly an angel in training, to attempt to re-trigger the perfected Ultra Instinct. The final battle against Moro saw him absorb the energy of a Namekian fusion and the powers of Android 7-3, becoming a cybernetic, planet-like being. Goku, after a spiritual journey guided by Maris's sacrifice, finally re-achieved the perfected Ultra Instinct and defeated Moro, with Vegeta using his new technique to restore Earth's energy and destabilize the sorcerer. The arc emphasized that raw power was not always the solution, and that specialized techniques and spirit control were equally vital.
Following Moro's defeat, the Heater Force, a galactic business and crime syndicate, began to take an interest in the Saiyans of Universe 7. They manipulated events to free a being known as Granolah, the last surviving Cerealian, from cryosleep. The Cerealians were a race nearly wiped out by the Saiyans decades ago under Frieza's orders, and Granolah held a deep-seated hatred for them. The Heaters provided him with the means to use the planet Cereal's Dragon Balls, created by the Namekian Manaito, to wish to become the strongest warrior in the universe. This wish came at the cost of his natural lifespan, burning away all but a few years of his life in an instant. Granolah's power skyrocketed, and he developed a unique ocular ability, the Ultra Instinct-like right eye, which gave him incredible predictive and analytical capabilities in battle. He swiftly defeated both Goku and Vegeta, marking the beginning of a complex arc centered on the sins of the Saiyans' past. This conflict forced Vegeta, in particular, to confront the brutal legacy of his race. While training on planet Beerus, he was taken to the past by the angel Whis to witness the destruction of planet Vegeta and the barbaric nature of the Saiyan people firsthand. This experience led him to reject the path of the Super Saiyan God, which was born from the righteousness of a handful of Saiyans, and instead embrace the destructive, ego-driven power of a god of destruction. He developed a new form, Ultra Ego, which thrived on taking and dealing damage, growing stronger with each blow received in battle. This form, with its purple aura and hair, was the antithesis of Goku's calm, defensive Ultra Instinct. The Granolah arc delved deep into Saiyan history, revealing that the Heater Force's leader, Elec, was the true mastermind seeking to eliminate all potential threats to his power, including the Saiyans and Frieza. It also introduced the long-lost legendary Super Saiyan, a figure known as Yamoshi, whose spirit was the basis for the Super Saiyan God legend, and the ancient powerful Saiyan Gas, who was made the universe's strongest by the Heaters as a final weapon. The arc concluded with a tenuous understanding between Granolah and the Saiyans, united against the common threat of the Heaters and the ever-looming presence of Frieza, whose own power had evolved in a shocking new direction. The most recent and seismic shift in the power structure of the universe came from Frieza. After training for a further 10 years in an alternate dimension, he emerged with a new black and white form he called Black Frieza. This transformation was a result of his relentless hatred and ambition. He appeared on the planet Cereal just as Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah had defeated the Heater Gas. With contemptuous ease, he one-shotted both Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, and killed Gas and Elec. Then he spared the heroes, not out of mercy, but to let them live with the humiliation and fear, declaring that he would now take control of the universe himself. This single act re-established Frieza as the ultimate antagonist, a persistent and ever-evolving threat whose power now seemed to surpass even the divine techniques mastered by the Saiyans.
The stage was set for a final, seemingly inevitable confrontation, with the balance of the cosmos once again hanging in the balance, proving that even after achieving godhood, the shadows of the past could always return, stronger and more menacing than ever before.